Hey guys, here with another video. So, if you guys have been part of the Panther team, been investing in Panther, you know that we just had our migration to the new AMM exchange, and it went perfectly well. There was, obviously people had questions and everything, but we had a free week. We had a free 24 hours to migrate, no fees, and if you did it quickly, you'd had no impermanent loss. I was able to make a video and put it up. I think most people had a very pleasant migration. I know some people had some questions, but I was in the support line helping people. I saw the admins helping people. I saw the community come together and help each other out. So I think we had a really good migration, and I think we should thank the dev team and thank the admins for that. So what this video is about is where is Panther headed now? Now that the migration's over, what do we have to look forward to from this point on? And that's what we're going to be talking about. So first things first, the migration, the old pools that you were in, which were the Cake LP farms. If you notice, the topmost farms now all say Panther LP, and that's because now we're running on our own infrastructure. We're not giving liquidity to Cake anymore, PantherSwap. We're doing it all in-house, and that's going to keep the money with us and keep our investments going even stronger. And the AMM is also going to bring in some added functions, which is what I'm going to get into right now. So this video, I'm going to tell you basically what the roadmap has in store for us, because I'm not connected with the team at all. I'm not here giving you any sort of information that you can't find yourself. I'm just trying to put it all in one spot for you so you can just simply watch a video instead of, basically I'm doing the research so that you don't have to. So I know a lot of people don't like to go reading through stuff, but I kind of like it. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing first, on May 13th, that is 3 days from now, the Cake LP farms are going to be removed completely. All right, so you guys need to try to get your migration done before then at the latest. You're already, the feeless migration period is already over, so if you missed that 24-hour window, you are going to have to pay fees now in order to migrate. And if anybody does have questions still, you haven't migrated and you do have questions still, join my Reddit. It's PantherSwap Pro, or join the Telegram PantherSwap Pro, and I'll be there to help you guys out. So that's the first thing. May 13th, you guys got to be migrated by. Next, let's check the roadmap, because there's some pretty cool stuff that is potentially coming down the line here pretty soon. So the roadmap has been kind of moved around a bit. They said because of the popularity, they wanted to push the AMM, and what they did was this jungles right here. They postponed that so that they could finish up the AMM. So what that means is the jungles is probably coming sometime soon, and you're going to see right now that the jungles has something to do with the AMM. It has something to do with the new PATC token. It plays a role in all this stuff. So the main things we want to look for is this: AMM Trading mining, trading on PantherSwap to earn new tokens, and that's scheduled for 7 days after the AMM release. So this stuff is coming fast, guys. The devs are working hard. Like we saw with that last update, they were totally successful. So I think investors should have some confidence right now that the roadmap, they are working hard on it. So one of the next things that we should be seeing is the introduction of the PATC token into the new AMM exchange. And then I'm going to tell you what that does after I tell you a little bit more about what's coming. Next thing, an airdrop platform. Hold Panther to claim free new tokens 15 days after the AMM release. So we're going to get a little deeper into that too in a minute. What I want to tell you right now is the main question I see about the airdrops are, what if I'm staking Panther, or what if I'm in the pools with the Panther pair like Panther BNB or Panther BUSD? Does that count? Will I get the airdrop? I can't give you a yes or no answer on that. what I can give you as my advice. I would just hold some Panther. Even if you're staking, even if you're farming, I would just hold some Panther in your wallet, because in general, that's how airdrops work. Is they're going to look at your address, see if you hold some of the token, and then airdrop you. Now they could make it to where they'll see if you're staking and you'll still get it. So that's something that the devs are going to have to give us some guidance on. I'm sure they'll tell us exactly what we need to do in order to receive the airdrop. But in my experience in general, I would suggest holding even just a little bit of Panther in your wallet. Another thing that's going to do, regardless of the airdrop, is secure the system. It's going to secure Panther. If everybody is holding a little bit of Panther in their wallet, even if it's just one Panther, it's going to decentralize the money supply across as many wallets as we can. And that's just a good look for Panther. You know what I mean? Nobody wants all the money to be in Bill Gates's bank account. You know what I mean? So hold your Panther, hold a little bit at least to get that airdrop. Wait for the devs to tell you what exactly the requirements are going to be. And on the other side of the token, holding Panther is good for Panther. So if you want to support this project, then go ahead and hold some Panther anyway, and you're going to get rewarded for it, for airdrops. All right? And I think these dates are all tentative too, so don't, because things are getting moved around. The AMM was right on time. So also, this says airdrop platform. This doesn't mean that we're getting airdrops in 15 days. That means that they're going to create the structure for this to happen, to potentially happen. And I'm going to get into that a little bit later, how the airdrops are going to work, how we potentially are going to get them. That's coming next. So the other thing we're going to cover in this video is the IFO. And this is pretty cool too. I actually didn't know what an IFO is. PancakeSwap already has an IFO, so what I did is I looked in and saw what they were doing. Now I know what that is, what that means, and I'll explain that to you once we get there. So let's move on. Those are basically the three things that I'm kind of looking forward to that are coming, at least according to the roadmap, very quickly, you guys. So let's talk about the AMM, and the AMM is basically going to cover everything but the IFO. The IFO is kind of its own topic. So the AMM is the new exchange that we are all now adding liquidity to if you have migrated so far. All right, so this is already up and running. I believe they're going to be adding more functions to it now. So the main thing that I kind of want to tell you guys about is the PATC token and the potential for earning other non-native tokens like Cake or other stuff. Okay, so long story short, I'm going to read this for you real fast. The traders can get extra token rewards in every trading and specialized trading pairs. So this means if you're swapping tokens, if you're swapping, let's say, Panther for Cake, that's what they're talking about here. That's my understanding, at least. For most trading pairs, traders will receive the PATC PantherSwap Trader Credit. So if you're making swaps, I'm pretty sure that soon we're going to be receiving some PATC for that. And they also, this is where it gets real cool in my opinion. They say other projects can also provide their tokens as trading rewards for their tokens trading pairs. This means that traders can receive up to 2 tokens as trading rewards for some trading pairs. So how I'm interpreting that is, let's say you're swapping Cake for Panther, and I'm making this up. I'm not making this up, but I'm not saying that Cake and Panther have a relationship with each other. I'm just picking 2 coins to make an example. So let's say you're swapping Cake and Panther all the time. Like every time you get your Panther, you swap it for Cake for some reason because you really like Cake. Well, let's say that Cake and Panther do create a partnership. Panther will say, or Cake will say, hey, I want a lot of traffic on Cake. I want you guys to be swapping for Cake. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you this amount of Cake to disperse out amongst your users for swapping for Cake. So basically Cake is going to give us a reason to farm and stake and swap for Cake on PantherSwap. Now I'm not saying that's gonna happen. I'm saying they're creating the infrastructure for this to happen. So this is actually really cool stuff. And what that also means is PantherSwap, from what I can tell, doesn't really do any marketing. So PantherSwap is probably going to hire people or do it themselves, or who knows. I don't know how all this works. You know, they're going to start having to make partnerships with other exchanges. And my guess is if PantherSwap just does its job, creates a good product, they're going to start getting inquiries as to all the things we're talking about, these relationships, these partnerships, these possible incentives. So if this pans out and we can work together with other swaps, other exchanges, that's going to be some really cool stuff, you guys. So that's what this last bullet point is pretty much saying. We provide other projects with the ability to incentivize trading, and they will be more willing to encourage their users to trade on PantherSwap. So that's pretty much, they sum up exactly what I was just saying. So here's an example. You can read the example yourself. I think we've explained it pretty well. And just a little more tidbits on PATC and Panther. So PATC has also a I think some sort of transfer tax that's up at the top of this page. You can read that up on yourself. But long story short, when you use PATC, it's going to one way or another buy back. It's going to, some of those fees that you are going to be so let's say you use the PATC or whatever. Every kind of like with Panther, and I'm not having this perfect, but the general idea is correct. So similar to how when you use Panther, portions of the transaction go to the dev fund and go to burning tokens and go to these other things. You can look up what everything's doing. Similar is the PATC, where one of the things that it's going to do is actually buy Panther. It's going to buy back Panther and then burn it. So that's going to benefit Panther because it's going to stabilize the price and it's going to lower the supply. At least that's the theory, right? So here's some more information about that, how much they're going to print. This is like where it's going. This is that burn portion I was talking about, and it is a transfer fee. So one more thing about the PATC is if you have PATC, they're saying that you can actually stake your PATC and earn Panther off of that. And then this last sentence is kind of weird. It raises questions for sure. So PATC will cover almost all use cases of Panther in the near future. So that raises questions like what's going to happen with Panther? Like if you have this other token that is going to cover, and it says cover almost all in the near future. So this is not going to happen right away, and it might not ever completely replace Panther because it says right here cover almost all. So that's kind of where like for me, like where a lot of questions come into play, and obviously we're going to have to ask the devs, ask the admin team what exactly all this means. So that should cover the PATC. It should cover kind of a couple things of like what we're coming into with the roadmap. And the last two last things I want to talk about is what's an IFO, because PantherSwap is saying that they're going to try to come out with the IFO. I think they said 20 days after the AMM release. So what's an IFO? If you don't know what an IFO is, I didn't know what one was. I had to look it up. So on Pancake, they've been doing IFOs for a little while now. I don't know how long. But that's pretty much an initial farm offering. So if you guys remember 2017, the initial coin offerings, Ethereum added a programming language called Solidity, and that allowed people to basically just copy and paste and create all these different tokens. And if you guys were part of it, or if you remember in 2017, I believe, it's kind of like today where you have all these different things happening on the Binance Smart Chain. And, you know, people call them shit tokens. People call them the Binance chain, just like gambling, like, and a lot of it is, right? Like you got some pretty ridiculous tokens out there. That's kind of just the history on the ICOs, initial coin offering. So now we got initial farm offerings, and what I'm gathering here is what you do basically is you stake in PancakeSwap's case, you would stake Pancake and BNB together You create a liquidity pool of Pancake and BNB. My guess is with Panther, it's going to be Panther BNB or like Panther BUSD. Maybe you have a couple options. I don't know. But basically, long story short, what an IFO is you're going to stake this, right? You're basically buying a ticket into all the new farm tokens, basically. So you basically stake your liquidity, and what you're doing is, I believe what's happening is you stake your liquidity, and then so when a new token comes out and they need liquidity, you're like automatically registered basically to give them some liquidity. So by doing these initial farm offerings and putting your money up like beforehand, you're giving these new tokens an ability to do what they need to do to get access to liquidity quickly, and in reward for that, you're going to be rewarded with all these new tokens that are coming out. So that's basically, I think, how that works. You're going to stake something a little more stable. In this case, it's Cake BNB. In Panther's case, when they come out with this, it's probably going to be Panther BNB or Panther BUSD. And then in return for giving liquidity to new projects, you're going to get some of the tokens from those new projects, is how I'm understanding an IFO works. So hopefully that makes sense as well now too, because I didn't know what that was actually until I looked it up this morning. The last thing I want to talk about that Panther we can expect, and I don't know too much about, hey, let me just get into it, is the Certic Audit. So Panther is currently, as you can read right here, it says onboarding. They're in the process of being audited by Certic. Now onboarding, I don't know if that means that like Certic has actually started taking a pen and a piece of paper and looking over it, or if they're just kind of like in line. To me, that seems like they're in line to get audited. I've talked to some people. They say it takes a long time for Certic to audit people, and that right now they're especially backed up with new projects. I have not done a lot of research into Certic, but a lot of people hold their opinion in high regard. Remember, that's all audits are in general. Of course, it just depends on how good these people are at research. Hopefully, Certic has programmers, computer scientists, all sorts of people, cryptocurrency experts. I don't know exactly how they do it, but I'm assuming they hopefully go through every line of code and make sure there's no problems, nothing that they're hiding, etc. So the better quality people they have checking projects at Certic, the better their recommendations are. So I haven't done a lot of research to know like, oh, Certic's actually, because you know, you got like, I don't want to get political, but you got news companies that are just paid to lie. So if you think, oh, Google says that this is okay, well, Google's paying to lie to you. So if audits are only as good as their reputation is what I'm trying to say. So I've only heard good things about Certic. So if Certic has a good thing to say about Panther, that could be very beneficial. But all I'm saying is, you want to know Certic's reputation, because their recommendation is only as good as their reputation is, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. Long story short, we had an awesome migration. It went down perfectly. So coming soon, we got the PATC token. We got potential airdrops. We have at least the system in place for airdrops. Hopefully, potential partnerships coming down the line and incentivized foreign tokens to be earned. We got initial farm offering, and on the roadmap, all of this is supposed to happen within like 20, 30 days. So that would be very impressive if they can handle all that. That's a lot of things. So we'll see what their plan is. And then we have the Certic Audit as well. Certic Audit, I really can't tell you when that's going to be done. So I've never waited on an audit before. I've never researched Certic. So you have to do that yourself, or I'll make a video on it. You know, I'll do some research into Certic, and I'll try to tell you guys what I think about them, and if their recommendations are good or not. But that being said, that's pretty much what we have to look forward to, at least for the next 20 days or more, depending on how fast they can get this stuff done. It's pretty bullish, in my opinion, especially after we saw them migrate successfully. And that's about it. Like I said, if you guys have questions or need help, join my Telegram, join the Reddit. It is linked down below. And if I have been helping you, if you're already joined and I've been helping you, or you see that I'm helping the community, please use my referral link. That's how I'm able to keep doing this. That's how I'm able to fund the giveaways and able to do some Panther charity work. So it's much appreciated. Thank you guys for even just watching this video, and I hope you guys have a good day today.